Hey all, welcome back. In the previous session, I explained you clearly the classes that are very important in SYCL, right? I have explained you a couple of classes which include the device and the device selector. Both these classes have been discussed clearly and I gave you some input on that as well. So what is device? This class will help you in getting information about the device. You can get the lot of information about your device using get underscore info. You can see that here the get underscore info function gives you a lot of information. And now device selector will help you in enabling the runtime selection of a particular device on which you want to run the code. This I have clearly explained, and you can run that code on CPU, GPU or whatever you want using this device selector option. Right. I have explained you this clearly in the last session. Now, practically, we need to see how exactly things work like. So this is the first thing that I told you, the device class. You can use the get info method or function. You will get details about the device. And the device selector will help you in getting the runtime selection of particular device. You can go with default selector, host selector, CPU selector, GPU selector or anything. The only thing that you need to go ahead and understand is default selector means you need to go ahead and use default underscore selector space selector. Host underscore selector space selector and pass that as an argument to the queue. That's it. You can use CPU, GPU as well. Now let's see how exactly things work here. This is the first file, the simple file which we are going to follow through and we will understand how the device selector will work. Right? We are going to use get device and get info functions as well, and this is going to be really easy. Now, I use the header file include cl/cycle.hpp and then comes the namespace. Then I must create the device queue with device selector. So this is the queue. Without queue, no code works here. As I already told you, we need queue for everything here, and we are going to submit whatever work we want to do into the queue. Through the queue only things can happen here. So I have got a device queue with the device selector. Now before that, I can select CPU underscore selector or CPU or default or host. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to have the GPU underscore selector first, followed by we can test it with CPU underscore selector during the next trial run. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to use the simple cout function and I'm going to print the details of the device. I'm going to use the get device function, get info function about the device and I'm going to print it. So what's happening here essentially, I created a queue. I'm going to select the device to which my code should run on. That's it. It can be GPU, CPU, default selector or host selector. But for the current purpose, for the current testing, I am selecting GPU underscore selector. How do I run it? I have already told you how to go ahead with the dev cloud. You go ahead to dev cloud, type this code or import this code, clone this code and from the git link that I have given you and you can run this. Simple. Now this is now when you select this cell, you will have this green bar on the left hand side. You can run this code. This is very simple. And now I am running it. So first time you have saved it and now you are running it. You can see that we are waiting for the output. Now the job has been submitted to the Intel Dev Cloud and it will execute soon is the message that you are getting. Means your code is submitted into the cloud and it is getting executed right now and you are waiting for the update. It's a very simple way of running your code and you can test all these in the dev cloud is the thing that you need to understand. All these are free. You can try it out. The complete code, content, everything is available right now in the Git. You can go ahead and do a Git clone. I have given this link also in the description section. So you can do a Git clone and get this tested in your machine. Now you got the output and you can see that you got the complete output here where you got the details of where the device has run. Since we have selected GPU, it has run on the UHD graphics. So we have got all these details available here and this is the way you can go ahead with GPU selector option. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the CPU selector option and I will rerun it for you to see if you are getting the CPU details as the processor which has been chosen to run this code. Earlier, the accelerator chosen was GPU. Now CPU is chosen and we should get CPU in the result. Let's see how exactly we get the result. We got the result and 11th gen Intel R Core TM i9-11900 KB at 3.30 GHz, which means I've got i9 processor available for me, CPU available for me to run this code. Very simple, isn't it? So you have selected the device selector. The device selector has been explained to you clearly, and before that I have explained the device class. I hope this was clear. Now we will go to the next level where I'm going to show you even the way you can select the vendor specific selection can also be done. I will show you that right now. Now comes the custom device selection. Yes, you can tell I want the CPU from Intel, GPU from Intel. So I can specify what is my option. You can select the appropriate, you can specify the appropriate choice of yours. Means you can customize the device selection as well. It's very easy to understand the code. I'll go through the main part of the code first. Now you can see that I've got options here. The vendor can be from Intel, the vendor can be AMD, the vendor can be NVIDIA. So I am having option to specify the name of the vendor and my device underscore selector space selector vendor name. This vendor name is getting passed as an argument to this method and the method is available here. That's all. Now what happens? Very simple. If the device is GPU and if the device is from the specific vendor, then the rating is 3. For instance, if the device is a GPU and if the device specified is Intel is available, then the rating to be given is 3. If the device is GPU, but if Intel is not available, other vendors GPUs are available, then the rating is 2. If the device is not GPU and if the device is not available, I mean GPU is not available at all, and if it is just CPU, we get the rating as 1. This is the way we can even customize it. Now what I have done, I have now asked for Intel. So I have commented rest of the two things here, which you can clearly see. I have commented rest of the two options here. So I am now going with the vendor Intel and I will check for the GPU availability first. If GPU and if Intel GPU is available, I'll get rating 3. If it is GPU but it is non-Intel, I'll get rating 2 and it will be allocated. If it is just a CPU and not GPU, I'll get rating 1. Let's see if this is run. The code is run, it is getting submitted. We will get the output shortly. Now you got the output and what we have gotten is the Intel graphics, UHD graphics. So the rating, the topmost rating is met and I have got Intel, I have got GPU. So 3 is the rating and I am given with that. You can even customize this. That's what I have told you. The custom device selection is also possible. I hope this is clear and the next session I'll come up with more coding which will help you in understanding more concepts. Thank you very much for following my channel content. If you have questions, please type it in the chat box. Thank you.